Hi, I'm Matt Remfry and I help wine businesses sell more wine at higher margins. Now, there's one question I've been asked more than any other throughout my career, and that's, how do you come up with the ideas? Where do they come from? So I thought we'd do something a little bit different here and just run you through the strategy that I employ to develop ideas. Idea generation is not the sole domain of people that work in the creative industries. Most people in professional and their personal lives will come up against problems that require them to think creatively to develop a solution. And whilst there are many ways of developing those ideas, this is my method that I've found successful over time. Now, we've all experienced that idea that just pops into your head, the idea that strikes. And it's true, I've sat in briefing meetings where I've had ideas that go on to be the final solution. But I also know that you can't rely on serendipity. And so you have to find a strategy to develop ideas. It's often said that the answer to a question is held within the question. So the first thing I need to do is to really understand the problem that my client's facing. I need to know everything about their business, about their competitors, about their customers and what they want. And I get all this information, and then this is the secret. I get all this information into my head and I just leave it there. I don't do anything with it in the first instance, and I really trust my subconscious to start rummaging through the information, and that's going to help me develop ideas. Now, anyone that's had to come up with an idea to a deadline knows that you just can't force an idea. Ideas need time. And I find they quite often pop up when you're preoccupied with something else. That's why people often say that they come up with their best ideas just before they fall asleep or while they're in the shower. It's because they're doing something that's completely preoccupying their mind. For me, it's running. I've come up with some of my best ideas when my mind is completely preoccupied with getting air into my lungs and keeping my legs moving. So prepare your mind and fill it with all the information you need, and then just leave it there. And find that thing that completely preoccupies you and takes your mind off that task at hand. And most importantly, learn to trust your subconscious. I hope you found this helpful.